Hey guys, Coach Kimmy here. So you know we're talking about color. This is the science room. If you don't think color has anything to do with science, then you are greatly mistaken, because it has everything to do with science. It's the 3 primary colors that give you every single color that you have. This book actually shows you that. It's so cool, and you'll see my other videos to be able to see all the little blue and yellow that are in every color. I love this. So look at this, is the book like in a smaller size. See how it shows you every one that has those 3 primary colors. What are your primary colors? You guys remember blue, yellow, and red. Now, how do you memorize them? And it took me a while to memorize them when I was younger. But if you're older, you probably remember them. Bananas, blueberries, and strawberries. Super easy. People love that in fruit. And it's the 3 colors of the primary colors. So I want to start testing you today. Okay, if we did it on a certain level hair, and somebody wanted a certain color, what are you going to do? It's great to have formulations. So, and also another great thing is we love to put the hair right here. So we could take this whole thing down and we could say, okay, here's the neutrals, right? So this is your swatch to check the hair to make sure what level you're at, because those are your levels. That's the underlying pigment underneath it, and that's how much % gray people have. So it's important to know that, because how much ever % gray they have is how much neutral you need to use. Or a gold. You don't always have to use neutral, because you could use gold if they want warmth. So those things are super important. So you're going to ask 4 questions every time. Where are you? Okay, so that means where are you? What is your level color, your base color? Where do you want to go? How light do you want to lift it? Are you going to lighten, or are you going to keep it the same or darken it? And then you want to ask, are you enhancing it or are you neutralizing it? Like, do you want a warm tone in there, or do you want it to be neutral, or do you want it to be ashy? Because some people don't even like warm tones, right? They hate brass. So it's important to understand that these live underneath that you don't see. So there's always unseen forces that you don't see that definitely affect your color. So let's just take a scenario. Let's just say somebody wanted to be, they're a level, I'm going to make it a little hard, right? They're a level 3. And they want to be a level 6. So what do? Do you go to a level 10 and put it on with 20 volume and see how much it can lift up to that level? But you got to know what's underneath that, baby. You're going to be pulling a lot of red. So for me, if they want that lift, what I would do is I would probably use I'd go probably to a level 7. And I would use 30 volume, so it doesn't pull super, like a lot. 40 volume will pull too much warmth. And then you want to be able to see what it looks like. You know it's going to have a little bit of warmth, right? Or I would encourage them to get highlights on that level 3 if it's their natural color. And I would really try to tone them down to that nice, pretty color. But you always want to think when you're lightening something, right? So let's just say they did want highlights. They're like, okay, I'm going to keep my base. Maybe we could go a shade or 2, right? We could go to a level 4, which will pull just a little bit of warmth. But if you go to a level 5, it'll put a little more. If you go to a level 6 with 20 or 30 volume, it will pull more, right? But it wouldn't pull as much as if you went to a 10 and you put it on that 3. It would pull a lot more warmth. Like, I just wouldn't do that, because I just don't feel that that's the right way to get somebody to a nice blonde. So yeah, and color is, there's principles and rules. You need to know the rules to be able to break the rules. Do you understand? It's like, of course, formulation is also from the companies that tell you certain things. So, but the more that you come to know color, and the more you understand, you don't just have to use one brand, right? So we have 3 different brands. We have Davines, which is mask, and then we have Colorly, and I have, this is a semi-permanent color, which is Color Touch and Wella. Love that for toners, and I love that on white hair. If people have white hair and they're wanting to be a blonde, like I make them a level 8. And let me tell you, it comes out so pretty, because sometimes they don't want to just be white to have white hair. They want a pretty soft blonde, which an 8 in Color Touch is so nice with a 13 volume, because it will definitely still shift it a little and it deposits that color, but there's no ammonia in the color. So it's not busting open the cuticle. It's like a stain. It stains that hair and it comes out so beautiful. So I just want you to know that, the more that you understand color and how it works, you're not so afraid of it. Like peroxide is peroxide. It doesn't matter what brand it is. The only one that I would say is a little different is Anoa, because it has like some kind of oil stuff in there. I don't know, but Anoa is just different. So I wouldn't use a Anoa lightener. A volume peroxide. I would use any other ones. But peroxide's peroxide. And you know what we do? You guys know me by now. My castor oil is my favorite thing. I use it for the color. We keep it in the back, put it in all the colors that we use on people because it's so good for so many things. It's great for the hair, it's great for the scalp, and it's great for the color. Do you know, I took a science class and the lady said she had like 100 different color lines. The most expensive color line, their main ingredient that they had in there, that was the one that made the hair the nicest, was castor oil. So we just put it in. So the hair always comes out so nice. It covers gray covered beautifully. So I want you to know, just keep going, keep learning color. All right, let's take another scenario. Let's just say somebody is a beautiful brown. Like, so this is where I'm at. I'm that color brown and I highlight my hair a lot. So first of all, I break my base. I don't put permanent color on it. I just use, it's not here. I mean, it's here, but it's up at the top. I use Clairol and a level 7N with 20 volume. And sometimes like today I would use an 8N because it's winter and I want it a little brighter. In the summer, my hair lightens from the sun, so I don't need it as light. But in the winter, I want it to be a little brighter, especially if I wasn't doing highlights right away. Now, if I was going to get highlights, I would do a level 7N with 20 volume so that it just bumped it a little and it wouldn't pull too much warm, right? Because remember, when we're bumping color and you're going up, you're going to hit into these warmer colors. So that's what I do with my hair, and that's what I would do with it. And then we would highlight it, whenever I had time. So I want you to understand that, different scenarios. All right, let's pick another scenario. Let's say they're a level 8 and they want to be a blonde like this. Now I'm just going to tell you the consultation I have. I'd say, all right, well, you're at a level 8 and you want to be that blonde. I would never just put that blonde on you. I'm not big in doing a double process blonde. It comes out too yellow, because those colors under there, even though that 10 is there, you have to have the perfect scenario to be able to get that color for real. Because most of the time you get these two colors when you do a double lift blonde. It's very rare unless they're really a light color, which, yes, if she's at a level 7 or 8, it is light, and you could put it on, you could put the lightest one on, and yes, you could get it to be a pretty blonde, but there's no dimension in the hair, and it's not really so natural that way. So that's why I would say a good 85% of the world highlights their hair to get blonde accent in their hair, right? So I would encourage them to keep a level 8, and I would do highlights and make it to this color and make it beautiful, make it enhanced. And that's pretty much like my color, even though I'm really like in between a 7 and an 8. So that's another scenario. Now let's take somebody that was red. They are a natural redhead and they want to go brown. What do you have to do? Now this is where your 3 primary colors come in. If they want to be red, if they are red and they want to be brown, let's just say for instance, but most of the time you wouldn't do that, because if somebody has a natural red, you're like, are you crazy? That's natural. You don't have to pay for it. Most people have to pay for red hair. So you would look at the level, you'd match her red to the level finder. You want to look at it and match it, and then you want to I would use a neutral. I'd put it right on, and I wouldn't use permanent color. I would use semi-permanent color, and always veer towards semi-permanent before permanent, because especially if they have hair my length, or if they have hair here. Why? Because You don't want to just bust open the cuticle and put permanent color on there when you don't have to. Semi-permanent color is so amazing. It colors the hair, I feel like, even better. It doesn't wash out as quick. It just stains the hair. It lays on top of that hair, so it stains it, so it's so much nicer. Where I feel like color that has, you know, ammonia and peroxide, and it's gonna blow up that cuticle to let the dye molecule go in, and it doesn't ever fully close. Like, even though yes, you could use conditioners and you could use other things to close it, but really to keep your hair at the best state, you want to try that first. So if somebody was a redhead and they were at a level 7, okay, I would use Color Touch at a level 8. Okay, I wouldn't want to just go super dark right away. I'd always be cautious. Listen, I've been practicing hair over a decade, and I'm going to tell you, you just are better to be cautious if somebody's like unsure and they don't know. And that's another thing. I think, like, I talk to my customers to find out where they are in life. You know, if they're like, just cut my hair off, I'd be like, red flag, you know, like, why? Where are you at right now? Oh, I'm going through a divorce, and I wouldn't cut it off. I would say, you know what? I want you to think about that. Let's trim your hair. Maybe we could give it a little bit of a different look. Maybe you could highlight it. Maybe you could do something else, because they're in transition. When somebody's in transition, don't do a big change. Just don't do it. It just doesn't work. It's not good for the client, because they're going through emotional stuff. And trust me, from my years of experience, I have learned the hard way that when somebody says, cut my hair off, I love the way that girl's hair turned out, and then her husband calls up freaking out, but that's what she wanted, I'm just super more thoughtful now of, like, you know, really digging deeper to find out where they're at, why they're wanting to do that, and what would be the best scenario to do that with anyway. So haircut you can't put back, color you can change. So that's one good thing. So make sure that you don't cut somebody's hair off unless they know for sure by the third time, if they're like, for sure I want it, or if you know that they're super easy, that they could go back and forth, then no problem. Then I would do it in a second. So it all depends. Everything is variable to the person that's in your chair. So I just want you to remember scenarios. Think of a scenario in your mind. If you were a level 4 and you wanted to be a level 7, how would you get there? Would you pull warmth? Yes, you're going to pull warmth. So if you're a level 4, I put a ton of highlights in there and I would glaze them. Ton of highlights. And glaze it that beautiful color so she could still keep her natural color. Maybe I'd bump it to a level 5 and then put a whole bunch of highlights in there. It would be so stunningly beautiful, because why? It would have soft, sun-kissed dimension. And it would look that color. It would look to a level 7 without having to strip her hair and make it all one color to a level 7 with pulling red. It's going to pull warmth. So you just remember, these are laws and principles that you have to abide by, because that's the way the process works. You can't go around it. I would love to. If I remember when I didn't really understand about color, I'm like, I just want a natural light brown. And the lady would say to me, it just doesn't work that way. And I'm like, but why? I just want to put a light brown on it. And why does it always pull red? Because there's laws. So I just want you to know, I hope that you like some of these scenarios. If you have some scenarios that you want me to talk about, just let me know and we'll discuss them. It's not just one way to get to the end result either. There's a few different ways. So it's not that you're right or wrong, but you want to make sure you give somebody what they want. So that's why you always find out, where are they? Where do they want to go? How are they going to get there? Are they going to lighten, or even if you're going to do a permanent color or a semi-permanent color, that's even a great question. Which one does it need? You know, don't do permanent color unless you absolutely need to lift. If you're depositing, I would always go with Color Touch. If it's white hair, I would go with Color Touch. Like a good 85% of the time, I go with Color Touch if they have white hair and they want to be a pretty level 8 blonde, you know, or a 9, but usually if they're white, they want to have some depth in that hair because they like the color around their skin tone. So those are some of my tips and tricks. This is Coach Kimmy. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for sharing your love and support and watching my videos. I so appreciate it. And I can't wait to give you more. This is Coach Kimmy. Have a great day.